Welcome. So nasi ndina Gem Donut, or as I call him, Dhonanzi. Arifarire zita iroro is Gem Donut, but I call him Dhonanzi because ndine pamuromo. And today we're going to be talking about the Red Pill movement. Kune vasingazive Red Pill movement, it's all about kusimudzira munhu wemurume, kusimudzira confidence yedu semaguys, because sometimes we feel like as young ghetto youths pamwe pacho, you know, my feelings edu haakonzidwe zvatinoda hazvikonzidwe. Even if you're a good guy, pamwe pacho mulife zvinhu zvisingangofambe because pane paine mamwe ma-social factors anotitsikirira. For example, like if you are trying to get girls, you are a nice guy, you know, treat mubhebi zvakanaka kana kuti chichi haakufarire, haakutarise, haakukoshese, because anenge achida umwe munhu ari pane rimwe level anomutreata zvakashata. Maybe anenge achiattractwa nemari kana chii, but ma-feelings emunhu wemurume anenge asikakonzidwe. That's why we have people like Shadaya. Kana muchimuziya muchiteerera zvaanotaura, anenge achingodzidzisa mafesi kuti when you are trying to get women and trying to get ladies, you shouldn't shortchange yourself. Waakunotora munhu uyaya akamboitiswa nempinga dzakazosheka dzikasheka akuzokuda because apera, but paaiva ari papeak aiva asingakude because waive uine zvimwe zvinhu zvaasingadi. So kwantiri Red Pill movement kungosimudza confidence dzako kuti iwo don't settle for less, don't settle kumunhu ane mileage, munhu apera, zvikoshese, ramba uine mamorals ako, zvikoshese. Saka nhasi ndauya naDonut. He's going to tell us about the Red Pill movement and how it helps kusimudzira vanhu vechirume. Inini personally, I don't subscribe to the Red Pill movement ideology, but he's going to tell us what it means and how it can help maghetto youth anoleka confidence, anofila like pane zviri kuleka mulife mao because they can't express themselves, they can't talk, pamwe pacho vanonzwa kuita toxic masculinity kana vakutaura. So I'll give this time to Gem Donut to just tell us about the Red Pill movement and also to tell us about vananonzi incels, involuntary celibates, which is just my nice guys, vanhu vatori bore, vamwe vacho vanoenda kuchechi, vamwe vacho vakadzidza, vanhu vatori bore vekuti if they are to get what they deserve in life, life would be fair, but kazhinji kacho vanodyirwa bhonzo nempinga. So Donut, can you just walk us through the Red Pill movement and incels kuti chi?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so before I start, I'd like to put a disclaimer. It's not that I subscribe to the Red Pill. I just have an understanding for it, since I myself experience a majority of the things that they talk about. But then there are things that they say that are extreme that I don't believe in. Like, for instance, you mentioned Shadaya. Shadaya does things for shock value. He might have good advice here and there, but most of the time it's for shock value. Argutraga following, he's trying to make money off the situation. Because another thing that happens with the Red Pill is that in every situation, there's always going to be capitalists, people who are going to, an optimist to them, not, what's the word? Yeah, it must be an optimist. Opportunist, exactly. Sorry.
Yeah, opportunists. Yeah.
Exactly. People who can see that there's a gap and they want to take advantage of that gap. Shadaya is one of those people. He has noticed that a lot of guys are suffering from, not suffering, are people who have been rejected a lot of times. People who don't have girls that like them because they don't make the cut. They pretty much don't, what's the word? They are not the attractive alphas. They're just guys who exist. They're individual, they're average Joes. And being average is not bad, but then it's not really good at the same time. Because in order to get attention, you have to stand out. Usually the average Joe is the settlement plan for the girl that has lived and experienced a lot of things. If you were to look at the whole situation, that's why guys are bitter. The girls want them when I wouldn't call it prime, because I don't really think anyone loses their prime. Or maybe when we're looking at biology, maybe that's the prime they're talking about. Because all I know is
ndokumbira ukubata muromo, Donanzi.
Sure.
Are you saying kuti hapana munhu paanonzi ari muprime yake?
Honestly speaking, if we were to say that a woman has a prime about of when she can get guys, I don't think there's a cap for girls to get guys or women to get guys. Women, even when they're older, as long as they're taking care of themselves, they could probably get any guy they want. They could probably get guys that are younger than them. But I guess the problem is when they want to have something meaningful with someone, they won't be able to get a high value guy to like them because this is what happens. The reason why guys don't want girls who are older is because they've experienced so many things. And once they've experienced so many things, they start to compare. And I don't know, I cannot really explain that one, but then when a guy is with someone, they want to experience the things with them at the same time. They want to be the guy that introduced her to something. Like Andrew Tate mentioned this on a podcast. He said that when I meet a girl and she's been, oh yeah, he was talking about a car. That imagine you have a girlfriend, unemskana wako pombi, then ionengo une BMW yako. You worked so hard to get that BMW. You want to impress someone and it. But then when she gets into the car, she starts making comparisons with the 2022 Benz. Then you're like, oh, you've been in there, you see. So there are certain things that some of these girls have experienced, and they give that valuable time to these other guys. Then they come to the guys, the average guy with trauma and baggage, because when someone is comparing you to someone else, it's not a fair thing. They'll talk about, even people talk about dick size. Oh, mind my language. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry. This is a safe space. We should talk about these things and express ourselves.
If imagine getting undressed and then the girl says, you've got a small dick. That means she's seen other dicks and she's comparing your dick to another dick. So that doesn't give a good look. So it's one of those things that's disheartening. So I guess that's what they mean by prime, before they're too experienced and have too much trauma, because the trauma is something that causes it causes problems in the future. There's so much to compare. There might be a lot of disrespect because you're not doing certain things for this person that another person used to do. But then I guess that's what I think. But then when it comes to the prime, women can they can attract whoever they want when they're older, but then they cannot probably get a commitment from the people that they want. And if I had that power as a man, I'll probably like sleeping with anyone and everyone that I can, because I don't really care much about commitment like that. You see, I wouldn't care about commitment like that. If I'm getting sex for free, I'll be okay. But then with men, it's not like that. Men are actually more, I'm about to contradict myself here, but then I mean the guys who don't get girls as much as the incels, I mean, they don't get women as much as the other guys, the top tier guys. They're the ones who cherish and treasure any woman that lets them sleep with them, that lets them love them. That's how it is. But if a guy has an abundance of everything, like the true test of a man is when he has everything, and the true test of a woman is when her man has nothing. You get it?
Yeah.
When a guy has everything.
You might not agree, but I think munwesane prime yake, and women and men have primes at different times. Why do I say so? Like when I was talking about Shadaya, he has a lot of inflammatory things, controversial statements, dzaanongotaura just to make headlines, but in there mune mafacts. Pane pangu paanotaura but ina hangu pafair. Handisati ndamboona statement rotaurwa naShadaya randingati iriri harisi rooted in truth. Munhu wemukadzi,
Okay.
biologically speaking, paanotena 16 years kusvika asvika around 30 years ndo paanenge aine runako, ganda rake rakanaka rakatsetseka, even fertility yake inenge iripo. And musociety yatiri kupinda paanenge ari paage iyoyo, vazhinji vavo vakuzvidedicata kuita maslay queen. Isusu semageto youth mukana kazhinji tinenge tisina, but ivo ndo pavanenge vari paprime vachipisa, vachipa virginity yavo, mabodies avo, attention yavo, time yavo kumbinga dzakasheka, guys in their prime. Usually vanhu vacho mostly they are over 35, especially kuZimbabwe, because kuZimbabwe kuti ufambe neBenz neBeamer uri munhu wechirume kazhinji it's over 35 or even older than that. And some of them, most of them vanoenda vama single mothers, and then vasvika palevel iroro manje isusu taimbovatraya woti tichitsvaga namba dzavo ko Kisha Anisha chipo wadii ndifonero ndidi anenge achikutarisira pasi. But kana azofamba kwese ukuku abva muprime yake akuchiuya manje akuchiposta paFacebook nepawhatsapp kuti single mother munhuwo chikazodai nei musiri why don't you fuck with us. Isusu teta kuti koimba mai vemuprime yenyu nei maiti ignore. Message yaShadaya is basically about that. And it's also about kuti iwo semunhu wemurumeka usaitiswe uchiita spare rekuti munhu uyu ari kutamba nevanhu vari muprime mavo varume, iye ari muprime make. Kana azobuda imomo akuda iwewe, I think his message can be condensed just to that. Iwo paunoti anzi mukadzi anogona kuramba achirema even ane 30 years, I don't agree with that. Anenge abuda muprime make. Anenge abuda.
That's the thing. I mean, if you've seen the wave of 56 or like women in their 50s on TikTok, there are a lot of hot, attractive women there.
Yeah.
They actually look better than some of the girls in their 20s. And the thing is, with the way the world is going right now, we have a lot of guys looking for sugar mamas. You see? And these are in abundance. They are there. But then the difference is, when a guy is to get a sugar mama, he has to be exceptionally good looking or exceptionally physically good looking. And I mean, as an instructor, is supposed to be good. He has to work out. He has to be a specimen, right?
Yeah.
But then he might be
kunge handsome wepa ZW wandiri kutaura nayo. Do type yavanhu vanowana mashuga mama.
It's not going to be like they still have my standard. Their standards are still set high. They still want a manly man. Yes, you might not have anything, but then you must be a manly man. Like I think most Ben 10s remind them of their youth, the bad guy, the bad boys, the guys who are risky, the guys who made them feel like they were alive. So when they have the money, they can take that guy and start pampering this guy, and they don't have to be committed to him, but they get what they want. But then, and sometimes the guys don't even want commitment from them, because the guys will whatever they can, especially when it comes to resources. If I were to get a sugar mama, I would probably catapult myself forward using her resources, trying to get ahead. My goal would be to get rich or to get stable, then start attracting the girls that I want. You see?
Okay.
Then I would probably, because the sugar mama is just a stepping stone. But then the women don't get that. They feel like if they're getting the sex, they feel like they're still hot, they're still hot property. They still can get whatever they want. But then that's the message that they're trying to tell the little girls. So the little girls, the younger girls, I'm sorry, not little girls, the younger girls. Little girls sound so wrong. Younger girls are getting that message And that message is very toxic. They're not telling them what lies ahead. They're just telling them, they make it seem like they're living good. It's just like people like to portray portray lives that they don't really have. Like when people move to the diaspora, some people
Yeah.
try to pretend
Yeah.
like everything's okay. Like they're
Exactly.
not working two jobs, like
And
they're not working
working
two
12
jobs.
hours and not getting any time for any social activities. Yeah.
You see, but then they take any moment they get to take pictures of themselves at restaurants, on a trip, like one of their holidays, they take a trip and then they start taking so many pictures. Those are the things that they like to advertise to the people. So that's why you have the rise of the rich aunties.
Yeah.
Rich aunties, if we really look at them, there's probably a man somewhere in there, if you
Exactly.
get me. There's a mbinga hidden there. Like you know, they're actually neighborhoods, the affluent neighborhoods in Zimbabwe, where there's a bunch of side chicks for ministers, kids, government officials, people just in power. They have side chicks and they're buying houses for them.
Preach.
That's one of the
Preach.
exactly that's the one of the reasons that you see that these old people in power, though they don't want to leave the power.
Yeah. Ndosaka indichifila like tichibirwa dhonanzi kuti vanhu ava pavanenge vari muprime mavo vanenge vachitengerwa dzimba nekurenterwa nekuitirwa zvinhu zvakawanda vachibhenefita isu state titovadawo vari muprime, but kana vabuda muprime manje ndopava kuchida kuti tarisa. Ina hangu personally I feel slighted, and shadaya paanenge achitaura gospel ndee nchiti mufesi uyu ari kutaura chokwadi kuti vanhu ava musazombovanzwira tsitsi ane 2 vana single mother achi akutanga kuda manje society yavo kuti you can even marry her. How can I marry munhu aimborojerwa nabosi ningi? How can I do that? I feel slighted. I feel offended. Even pandotomuona achiraidha mubhima nemubenzi, I feel offended kuti zvinhu zvari kuzviitirei, because at the end achazoda kudzoka kwandiri inini abuda muprime.
Okay, but can I say something?
Yeah.
What happens is sometimes some people, they make mistakes. That's something that happens. I'm not trying to say forgive any and every woman that you see. I'm just trying to say that you could find love, you could find something real with someone that has had children before, or a child or children. That just depends on you, what you're looking for in a woman. Because some of these younger girls, or the girls that don't have any commitments or anything like that, you're probably playing yourself if you want to tame one, or not tame one, if you want to wife one.
Because, I think pekutanga washandisa the correct word, to tame one, because those people are wild. I'm sorry to say this, but they are wild. Watotaura word chari, we are trying to tame munhu ane mabehaviors atori. Haisi mistake kunzi munhu aita mwana, haisi accident, haana kurohwa netrain. She didn't get hit by a combi or a Honda Fit achibuda muyadhi mamai vake mbangu muka pregnant. No, akatozvironga, akatozviplana, akatarisa mufesi aipa next door, akatarisa mufesi wake waanoenda naye kuchechi ari kumusofta, akati nah, this is not for me. Let me fuck with this older guy ane bhima, ane benz, ane business, anohasela. It's rarely a mistake unless kana munhu akarepwa.
Yeah, that's the truth. But like when you do have when you do talk to some women, you get to understand that sometimes they're duped. You know, some guys act like they want to marry them, they act like they really like them, until they have their children, then they start acting shady. So it's not always a sure shot. It's a hit and miss type of thing. You have to listen and understand how they got to be where they are. before you judge them harshly or you condemn them. So it happens a lot. And that's why the message of Andrew Tate and the message of Jordan Peterson are very essential, because if a guy is honorable, he wouldn't do something like that. He wouldn't be impregnating women, then starting to come up with excuses so that he can weasel out of it. You get my drift?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why their message is essential. If a man with proper guidance, a boy with proper guidance will do the right thing always. He will try to protect, he will try to lead, and leading needs an example. So if we have a bunch of philandering fools in positions of power, what do we get? We get a warped society. We have people that have no morals because they're just following the leader. Like I don't understand how like okay, there's this question that came up. So um the thing with the modern situation where anti-vaccines are 50-50, right? They want
Yeah.
they want women empowerment and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which
But
is
look at it
good.
this way.
Which is good.
Okay, if I don't think empowerment is supposed to be 50-50, but it's supposed to be equity.
I,
Everyone gets an equal share.
maybe our definition of 50-50 is different, but 50-50 just means that under the eyes of the law, a man can do what a woman can do. What do I mean by that? Kana muri kuenda basa muine same qualifications, hamfani kutarisa kuti uyu mukadzi uyu murume, kungopinda chete uchienderana nekuti une maqualifications here, ndo zvinongoreva 50-50 non-discrimination. But pane pamwe pekuti like basa iri richida varume panocherwa mapowe ezesa paya paya 50-50 iriko, but ipercentage yevakadzi shoma inokwanisa kupinda mustreet ichichera ivhu rakaoma rere, ichichera nepik, ichisimudza matanda aya ichidididi waiziya ikoko 50-50 inonetsa. But pamutemo chap vanhu vese vane 50-50. So equality right. And ndikatonzwa munhu wemukadzi anoti arikuda equality, ndinchaya kuti arikuda equality because under the law everyone is equal.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, it's just like even in relationships. Look at it this way. Before, women were not working, and that's why the guy was meant to cater for everything. But now, when a woman is working, why is she expecting the guy to do everything, even pay her rent? You see, like in Zimbabwe, you have a situation where when you start dating someone, you just automatically become responsible for everything that they incur, like all the costs that they incur. You're supposed to handle their hair. You're supposed to take them out for trips. You're supposed to pay for food. But they're working.
Yakabva kupi mentality iyo yekuti paunomisa munhu baby ndakuda anotofila kuti ndonofanira kumuchengeta. Yakabva kupi mentality iyo, and is that a good mentality? Because ukatoona munhu akudaro ndo uslay queen wacho, and ndo zvinomulidha kuti anoitiswa nempinga dzinozosheka idzi. Yakabva kupi mentality yacho, and that's the root cause.
And that's that. You see, that's the other thing. People are trying so hard to dismantle the patriarchy, but then if you look at the patriarchy, who benefits the most from it?
Women.
If there was no patriarchy, exactly. If there was no patriarchy, there would be a lot of women at war, fighting in the wars. But then, because of the patriarchy, men are the last to leave the war zone. Women and children and the elderly go first. But then, if we were to say 50-50 there, trust me, a lot of feminists will become respectful women that don't listen to feminism, you see. But then I'm not saying feminism is bad, you know.
No, yeah,
feminism
it's not.
stood for something good. They did what they wanted. They got the rights there. They can vote. They can do whatever. They can drive. The countries where it's not working, I don't understand why feminists should be talking about how it is in in the Middle East, you see, like in Afghanistan. I think I saw an article, but then I don't trust the mainstream media anymore, because the mainstream media is about propaganda. They're trying to make you riled up over things that are probably false. The heading, the title was like uh Afghani girls, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's the right country, but it's a country in the Middle East. The girls are being said that they're not to be treated by male doctors.
Yeah. I saw that
They're not
headline
supposed
also.
to be treated. You saw that, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, they're not allowed to be doctors. So are you just saying they should just die?
Yeah, that's condemning them to death, right? And then, like I said, I don't trust mainstream media because of that. The mainstream media has a tendency of trying to make things extreme and inflammatory so that we get angry and we have a reaction. I don't think the Afghani men are that evil or ruthless that they don't care about the women like that, because the future depends on a woman because she bears children. They're the ones that carry the children. So we're a unit, people. As people, we're a unit, but then the propaganda is always trying to divide people, make them think about things a certain way. So those are the things. That's why I don't believe mainstream media. So I don't trust that article, but I don't. But then the fact that they don't want the girls to be educated, that that might be that might be true. But then I don't think they don't want all girls to not be educated. There must be something that's happening there. I don't understand what, because I'm not there and I cannot talk about something that I don't know. So I'll avoid that. But
to be fair, tikatarisa nekuda kucompare culture yema-Afghanis and most Arab countries nedu, it's quite different. Isusu our ladies havana ma-limitations akaita seane ma-ladies ekunana Afghanistan. Hatiti kana vabuda mupublic ngavazvivhare kumeso vapfeke mahijab kana kudii. Our ladies are free. Vanongosunga dhuku nekusunga zambia, like kana tiri pama-functions kana chii, but kana famba mustreet angona kupfeka bumshot kana chii chaanoda. But to be fair, tikatatarisa kunana Afghanistan, they restrict their women because vanofila kuti they belong in the kitchen, they belong in the home. Makanyanyobuda panze, amenoti, is it meant to protect them or is it meant to protect ego evanhu vechirume? Because even munhu paanoroora mukadzi wake anomuroora anenge atoitwa inonzi arranged marriage. Kana amuroora omushafa mudheni and haaende kushopping, haaende kuchanenge achigogara mumba. So it's a bit different. It's their culture, it's backwards. And ukaona vanhu vachifighta for feminism ikoko, they will be fighting for genuine things and genuine concerns, because havabvumidzwe kuita zvechikoro, havabvumidzwe kudii, havabvumidzwe kuparticipate mugovernment kana kudii. They are really oppressed. But kada utarisa kuZimbabwe, women can do anything they want, but most of them, they choose the easy way out. Kana atongoenda kuvhasiti achisvika ikoko, instead of kuendera mberi nechikoro, akutotsvaga mbinga inokwanisa kumuchengeta, inomaintaina lifestyle, ichamenisa kuvic falls kana kudii. That's not feminism. That's being a slay queen. That's basically being loose. Vanozoda havo kuhwanda nefeminism kana chii, but that's being loose, and they shouldn't put themselves in the same bracket nema-Afghani or Arab women. Zvakatosiyana.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, ndochokwadi ichocho, because ukatasaka kana vanhu vakutaura ma-struggles that they go through, they are talking about struggles that a normal human being goes through. Anyone that's come of age, that needs to be an adult, they're going through that. But somehow, sometimes some people feel entitled to getting like a leg up. They expect advantages, like this. They're expecting to be handed certain things, but then nothing comes for free in life. You have to work for it. So look at it this way. Right now, every person could open a bank account, but then in Zimbabwe we have a women's bank. Like how do you have a bank dedicated to women
and a women's
and
university?
giving women loans? Exactly.
Yeah.
We have all that, but I don't understand the when I go to a bank and ask for a loan, if I don't have the criteria that the criteria that they require, I don't meet the certain criteria, they won't give me that loan. But if a woman meets that criteria, she'll get that loan.
In the
So
name
I
of
don't
empowerment.
understand. Yeah. And quota system, that's kind of a problem too. I'm pretty sure you noticed when we started doing the quota system in our cricket team, we started failing. You don't, the quota system requires you to put people based on skin color or gender, but not based on talent or merit. So that's when you have people getting positions of power not based on what they can do, but
But
because of
who they
who
are.
they are.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's pretty much ruining things. So like right now, if you were to say let's hire women that are in the garbage collection, and we want to put um, more women collecting the garbage because we want 50-50, right? And then if we were to say that, okay, look at it this way, even models or even porn stars, the women get paid the most, they get more money, but then you don't hear the guys bitching.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys are okay with that. They know what's up. They know what brings them money. But then you have people in sports, like women's football. If women were so interested in having 50-50 and sharing the spoils, women would go watch female football, but then they don't even care about it.
Because
Men are actually
it's
the
no
ones.
fun. Because it's no fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's actually men who go to watch it because they want to see women playing. They want to see other things. It's visually capturing. That's it. So you know, sometimes you notice that people are fighting to force people into like certain things that they don't like. They too don't like, but it's dedicated to them. You see, it's dedicated to them, but they're not following it. They're not all about it. So they need to start dedicating themselves to these things, to that cause, and not expect the guys to like it because okay, even when it comes to weight, fat phobic only applies to women. Men are being called left, right, and center. They get ridiculed for being chubby. They get ridiculed for being fat,
All
and
day
body
long.
shaming.
Kana
All the
zvakuitwa
time you hear
kumukadzi ya body shaming.
Zvangofana kuti penis size paipa inotaurwa paipa ibody shaming.
Yeah, it is.
Munhu ane kadora. Itori body shaming iyoyo. And that the most unfortunate thing about penis size, it's something that you cannot control, but weight is something that you could lose. You just work out and you actually start feeling good. You start feeling better, but then they don't want to hear that. So those are some of the things it's Panama double standards akanyanyis, and there's a lot of lack of accountability. Both sides, not just one side, but both sides. Like if the 1% yevarume inodiwa stereki nemabhebhi kana kuti the ones that are considered the high value men, if those guys started talking about things and pointing out their benefits and how the average guy is missing out, you'd find that there'll be a lot of change, empathy and understanding, you see. So yeah, that's I guess that's what I see.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, Dhonanzi. I think this is a good talk, and we'll keep talking about these issues and how they affect us. And in Inangu, if I'm to give a closing statement, is mwana wemukadzi, mwana wemusikana, munhukadzi, shanda, don't expect zvinhu kuti zviuye easy. Kana uri kuvhasiti, kana uri kuchikoro, do that, work hard. usazoti kana wasvika kuuse it waakutsvaga mbinga and you do all sorts of shenanigans. At the end, kana taakuzokuita hold accountable, waakuti zvinhu zvashata futi. Be a hard worker. Have my expectations anotarisirwa inini mwanakomana, because guys, we work to lift ourselves. Tino zvakawanda zvingona kutiburitsa on the track to success, but most of us, to get what we get, we work hard. But for ladies, some things they want kuti we are so simple. And pampacho, they claim feminism to cover up my mistakes avakaita, and inini, I think munhu should be held accountable for each and every move yaanoita, and especially my slay queens. I have a bone to pick with my slay queens, because yeah. That's not it. Yeah. That's not it. I don't know if you have a closing statement for us.
I don't think I really do. I just feel I guess a lot of guys should start listening to Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson, or just start listening to people in the manosphere, not the red pill community, but the manosphere. And when I say the manosphere, like if you go on YouTube, there's the guy MTR, mediocre tutorials and reviews. That guy is very good. The Poor Man's Podcast, very good. O'Shea Duke Jackson, very good. Fresh and Fit, it's a gray area, but then it's okay.
I would say Abba and Preach. Inango, I'm very much inspired by Abba and Preach.
Abba and Preach, yeah, they're good. They're good, but then they're not part of the manosphere if you look at it.
Exactly. I'm not part of the manosphere. I identify more with Abba and Preach because they are moderate. Their takes are not as controversial, but I think they can teach us. Because they are so far to the right. They end up do better, do better. We don't hate you, but do better.
That's the thing, you know. Oh yeah, not forgetting one of my favorite. This is a woman, Just Pearly Things.
I know that Just Pearly Things. Oh yeah, I've heard about it.
Just Pearly Things, yeah, she's good. And then there's King Rich. I think he usually works with Just Pearly. The other guys, I would mention them, but then they're just a bit cringeworthy. They're not the best, but then yeah. Oh yeah, another channel that people should follow. It's Complicated. That one is very realistic. The guy is impartial. He asks questions that matter. He asks women and men, but it's mostly women. Because I don't know if you've noticed, there's a trend online nowadays. When you look at the internet, women are telling on themselves. People are telling on themselves, rather. People are saying what they want and what they prefer. And what they want and prefer is probably, they're exposing themselves. Let me just leave it at that. So maybe we could talk about that on another show.
Thank you for your time, Dhonanzi, and I hope our podcast, our channel, Zim Boys, will grow. Because like voice because I think we have a lot to teach Ghetto youths. We have a lot to learn, and my conversations are up in the mainstream. Views and just help each other grow as Ghetto youths and as Zimbabweans. Yeah. Thank you for your time. I hope and I pray Kuti will get to make another video and continue talking about this time. Lovely talking to you, Dhonanzi.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Peace.